as we've already said. I think he's got it. This is the team that Maresca has named.
Yeah, I looked at that. I was looking today, 9 new signings, 150 million plus spent in that team. Caicedo comes back in, and Nkunku comes in, Nicholas Jackson and Cole Palmer. Those are the 4 that come in is starting lineup from the Inter game, but not one of the new signings starts the football match. I think there's 4 or 5 of them on the bench.
Manchester City start like this.
Yeah, they make 3 changes, I think, from the team that won the Community Shield. Rico Lewis, Akanji, Diaz, Guardiola, Ederson all stay in the side from that. The 3 changes are Savinho starts, Bernardo Silva starts, and Kevin De Bruyne starts.
Well, with Rico Lewis in, you know exactly what he's going to do, don't you?
Yeah, he'll just drift into that midfield area, won't he?
They're chasing a 5th consecutive title. Have we seen anything from any team? I mean, it's early days, I know, but include the back end of last season. Anything from anywhere to suggest that City are not going to win this again?
The last third of the season is when they really click into gear and get over the line. And I think it was a decent start for this 90 minutes, a decent start first half for Manchester City. They got themselves in front. I think Chelsea, it was a slow start. It took them probably 20-25 minutes, or at least to go behind 1-0 to actually impose themselves and get a foothold in the game, which meant taking the ball, taking possession.
What about this one?
That one, less so.
Yeah, I felt the first one, Fernandes, was I think that's a penalty. This one, no, I don't think there's enough in it. I think he's looking for it more than...
Yeah. I don't think there's not enough from Diaz, is there? As he goes to the ground. You know, if he'd hooked his arm round his leg and kept it there, I'd have said yes.
Yeah. And there was one right on half time.
Yeah,
yes or no?
We didn't see a replay in that. This again, honestly, it's that movement there. No. Rico Lewis doesn't do anything, does he?
All he does is back into him a little bit, run backwards, doesn't he? But it doesn't...
We'll get a look at it here. In there, goes in there.
No, he just stands his ground, really. No,
nothing
he's
wrong with that.
for it again.
The first one, if any, was the one that I think Chelsea fans will say that's a penalty. And they might have an argument for that.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I agree with you. I think what they did do better to get back in the game was they closed the distances down. Listen, you've got to be brave when you press Manchester City, but your distances have got to be right, and you've got to go as a collective unit, and I felt they didn't really do that. Chelsea in the opening 15-20 minutes, when they got to grips with that, they kind of got on top of Manchester City and won the ball back in better areas. So, do
we agree with it? I mean, I suppose the technology we have to accept. We did get lines on this game.
Wonders, he's not really paying that much attention. He kind of, if he had just been a little bit alive to his position, because he's looking right across the line.
Doesn't have to be, does he?
He doesn't need to be offside.
He's ball watching, isn't he?
He just kind of gets lazy, his mind just drifts, because he's looking at every Manchester City player, so he knows he can just keep himself level. Even if he just stays level, he's okay. But he's just, a foot.
The crazy thing is he can see across the line, can't he? You just have a quick look.
Nah. Cost him.
Well, that's the difference between a top striker. Haaland would not be offside.
No,
there.
Keep him to one side, doesn't he? But I think there's plenty in the game for Chelsea still. Be interesting to see with that array of talent he's got on the bench, winning, not. I think that'll be the key for Chelsea.
OK, so City lead at Stamford Bridge by 1-0. Erling Haaland off the mark. How many more are there to come from him, I wonder, this season? 1-0 to the champions.
Obviously only playing half a game, but a nice debut for him. That gives them another outlet there. He played particularly well. Of course, Rodri not playing and winning without him is another positive for them, because that hasn't happened too often in this.
And he did a good job as well as his goal in that role today, didn't he?
He did, yeah. I thought he was one of the best players for Manchester City. Good goal as well to top his performance off. No, it was a solid performance all round. Surprised that Pep Guardiola didn't use that many substitutes, actually, although he doesn't often do that. But for the first game of the season away, a tough game, I thought he might, put a few fresh legs on, but he didn't seem to do that. But no, good solid performance for the champions.
Yeah, he's very happy, Pep Guardiola. Look, Glenn, we said this is a long-term thing for Chelsea.
of work to do for Chelsea. I don't see that midfield. Before the game I said I was looking forward to seeing how that worked. Didn't work for me. There's too many similar players in there. Fernandes played almost like a 10 in front of Lavio and Caicedo. So that needs sorting out some way, shape or form. Palmer was sort of tied down on the right-hand side a little bit. When he went roaming, Chelsea looked better. And I think they've got to think about that to get to their very best. But they weren't outclassed by a very, very good City side, organised themselves with the ball and without the ball. Pressing could be better, we'll come on to that a bit later on. But all in all, I think the fixtures now for Chelsea don't look too bad on paper. So they've got rid of a real tough one in City today, but they've got something to build. From that performance, there's something to build on. You always felt they're in the game. They're in the game. They were close to scoring some goals. They had some real good half chances, and as I say, by no means were they outclassed.
I just hope for your Chelsea house, your builders turn up on time and consistently for Enzo Maresca and Chelsea. But it's Manchester City who have won. So we've had 9 of the 10 games on this opening Premier League weekend, the one you've been counting the days down to, which started at Old Trafford on Friday with a late winner for Manchester United against Fulham.
And you're up against the ropes to get narrow, to drop deeper, to get your positions right, and you just ride it out, and then when you gradually work your way back in the game, you take your opportunities. But he's there to drive the younger players and to set examples on and off the pitch. He's left the football club now. Pochettino kept him around. Listen, he was finished 38, but he kept him around for a reason. There's a reason why, because he can't do everything inside the dressing room. But the senior pros, they can.
I just get the feeling that the management here have started to take for granted the support from the people that pay their money, and good money. And that's a very dangerous place to be as well. It's a very dangerous place. Because there's a tipping point.
Yeah.
And I think they're on it. I've seen nothing today to suggest that there's anything better to come from last season.
You wait till he put tickets and prices up, because they take their money and sit around. Like Raheem Sterling's a perfect example. He's probably at that age now where he's not going to be able to demand the money that he's getting.
No, he won't
at Chelsea. So why would he move? He's not playing for England. He's in the latter stages of his career, and he's on a fortune. The only place that's going to entice him is Saudi.
No.
Well, 28's not there? Latter, is it? There's still something in the tank, but I know what you're saying.
Well,
he doesn't have to.
If he wants it, we have to hope that Raheem will not be fed up playing at the highest level yet, even though it's not worked out at Chelsea
but
for him.
But he's still got 3 years left of a deal.
Yeah, I know that.
It's paying him an awful lot of money on a weekly basis.
He's a very rich young man.
So you don't have to move.
But he can make it difficult for them.
If he's a hugely rich young man, right? He's a hugely rich young man. What's brought him those riches? Playing football. Surely, as a young kid, he's always wanted to. I'd like to think. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just old-fashioned in that respect. But I'd like to think
as well.
that
he will only take a drop in salary if Chelsea make up what he's lost. He has a 3-year contract, Andy, which is not his fault. He signed in good faith, and they should honour.
And he's not being
taken. I always say
this
when players are in that scenario.
That's not the issue for me, whether they honour. The issue is, does Raheem want to sit there for 3 years?
No.
Or does he want to go and play
But it's where
football?
he goes as well. Raheem Sterling has played at the top all of his career. Liverpool, City, Chelsea. Who's going to take Raheem Sterling from the top 6? No one. So he's going to have to drop down into a middle bracket. Is he going to want to do that? Is he going to want to play for, I don't know, Palace?
Why do we know
Drop
there's
down
not
a
going
bit.
to be a top team?
Jason, did you say?
Into the next bracket from the top 6.
Go and play for United.
How do we know there's not going to be a top team? I've already got 50 million in the bank, probably.
No.
He must have. Well, there you go. I mean, I'm sorry, but that's the difference.
No.
How's he going to spend 35 million, 40 million?
On a boat.
Well, exactly. As I say, if it floats, hire it.
No, they don't do it. It's all part of... No, to be serious, they have created for themselves a monstrous problem.
Yes.
Crazy.
And it's scary.
8 players, paying them Premier League wages.
And I don't know where the owner was going when he left the game early, but don't. Stay there,
That's
like everybody else.
It's not a good sign. He will probably say he went inside to watch a replay of something that happened.
Did he really?
He's
he
gone
should
inside
be there
to ring
and to have to tolerate it like everybody else until the end.
Osimhen.
Get that Osimhen deal over the line now.
Mikel's phones.
Results with one game to come. We've got Monday night football. Don't forget tomorrow night, Leicester and Spurs. But Manchester United got us underway Friday night, winning against Fulham by